Welcome to the Week in Italian Startup, where we discuss the latest highlights happening in the Italian tech and investment ecosystem. Data is eating the sports world. So K-Sport World, a sport tech startup, raised 5 million in a round led by Rialto VC. So interesting deal. Data is has been becoming pervasive in a lot of basically verticals. Well, in sports tech in general, from Moneyball, I would say onward, there is always been like a deeper and deeper interest in statistics analysis and everything to get the edge. And the guys at K-Sport are really doing it right with AI and with a lot of like data analysis. So basically, what they do is that they do match and training analysis, focusing on collection, analysis, and management of data in the football world. What is interesting is that a vast majority of football clubs in Series A, B, and C are clients. And it has been getting quite a traction. So very interesting platform. They don't only basically provide like a hardware device to track, I think about 60 parameters. Well, actually, no, it's 300 basic parameters that can actually be combined. So that's very interesting. They also provide services on top of the data from essentially, with machine vision, they can track the play of players, they can correlate data points, and that's extremely powerful. What is your take on that, Nick?
No, it is very interesting. I was considering all the interesting points from the article and from the story of the company. So it's from the article, from the news. Ksports is a startup in spirit for sure, growing, raising capital. Not speaking in age, it has been around for 15 years. It's already a leader in the Italian market. Like 60% of the Series A clubs are using the technology. And I was reading, and that's very interesting. Since 2018, uh, there is a metric that the Series A is using to identify the most valuable player of each match, and the KPI is tracked. It was created and tracked by K Sport.
Wow,
So yeah, that's nice.
interesting. And that's a
Mm.
good way to qualify, yourself as a company. That's a very smart move, actually. Just setting
Yeah,
this, it's basically setting the standard.
exactly. When you name the standard after you, it's
Yeah,
you know you're in a good position.
absolutely. So
Let
the
me
next,
K Sport that player.
I was about to say the next level is actually to convert your company name into a verb, and that's
Exactly.
when you're a winner. So 100%.
Exactly.
Awesome. Interestingly, the investment is led by Rialto One, which is a venture capital fund, EU VECA, specializing in investment in technology startup related to digital transformation and really touching a lot of points from AI, cybersecurity, enterprise IT, and developer tools. This is a fund which is part of AVM Gestioni, SGR, which sometimes we talk about. Also, AVM, I think, is worth mentioning because they've been playing a big role and they've been launching a few funds over the years. Uh, it's a relatively active company. So that's a very interesting player in the startup ecosystem. So the target, I think, of Rialto is around 100 million, and they're deploying 500 tickets. 500K tickets per sort of investment, starting from, of course. And yeah, definitely we're gonna see some interesting moves because it's one of the latest funds. So happy to track what these guys are doing.
I agree with you. The fund was launched quite recently, last year, I believe, and they've been operating under the radar. So I think that they've been doing many more investments than those that are publicly available. So
Cool.
very interesting. Mm.
Oh, fantastic. All right. Moving on, of course, we need to touch AI. Every week, something in AI is moving. So, Axion AI fintech company, raising 3.9 million, making it one of the biggest round of last week. In a round led by US-based VC firm Montage Venture and accompanied by the tech shop SGR, plus, of course, other angel investor. So in general, Axion AI works in the asset management field and trying to basically provide basically AI tools for asset manager, like portfolio management managers, head of investments, etc. In different elements, being it like asset ranking being one, and also basically trying to integrate artificial intelligence into the process architecture of the client, of the investment firm, to actually optimize their operations and their performance. Very interesting. What is interesting is that we have a US company actually investing in Italy, so that's powerful. I mean, Montage is I think it's between a micro fund and like a kind of a bigger fund. It's not huge. It's about I think 53 million, the latest fund they raised, but they've been investing quite often in consumer tech, for example, and fintech, mostly. I think they have a big portfolio too, so they are seed to early stage investors, and they are into some of popular firms, I would say, in the US market. So that's very interesting, actually.
Yeah, they seems to be one of those early stage investors, spreading their tickets quite wide across many startups as initial entry. As you said, they appear from Crunchbase. They appear to be quite active in the fintech and financial services sector, with I would say 30 and more, 30 plus investments, and healthcare and software. So they've got some preferred verticals. Uh, and as you said, there is actually two funds. Um, one about 20 something million, and the other 30 something $1 million. So smallish, but they appear to be quite active.
Yeah, absolutely.
Nice to see such a type of investor investing in Italy. So this is very interesting.
Yeah, and it's good to have an Italian co-investor, the Tech Shop. Of course, we've been talking about the Tech Shop for a while, and they've been also very active in finding like new deals. So it's a nice and interesting deal. So if you want to go into the details, actually, I believe that it was a 2.3 million in new cash with 1.6 secured through the conversion of the convertible note from 2022. So
Hmm.
fairly interesting round, especially for a young company, and that's nothing to ignore for sure. And the idea is to support the plan for basically making the company international and going to also like other markets other than Italy, of course. I mean, it's an AI company in fintech. We working with banks, asset manager. It needs to be global. Doesn't have to stick with Italy pretty much. So that's a smart move for sure.
I'm just curious about how the investment of Montage came about to an Italian
Interesting.
startup. I would like to know more about the story. That would be nice.
Awesome.
Hmm.
So let's talk about Doorway. So Doorway has been becoming one of the most popular crowdfunding platform in Italy. So good job at Antonella, the founder. They raised 1.7 million in fresh capital from Fondo Rilancio of CDPVC, Angel for Women, and then other business angel, including some executive actually from Poste Italiane and former executive from Ux. So very high profile people, I would say. And another like a big player that works really, really well and professionally in the crowdfunding space. So kudos to them for sure. Right. Nick, it's the time. So LLMs are finally speaking Italian. Just quoting your newsletter. That's interesting. So we cannot ignore that. We need to talk about what is happening in AI in Italy. So the news that you mentioned is that there are basically two open source model which are fine tuned in the Italian language. One is Lama is Lamantino. I don't even know how to pronounce it, and basically released from University of Bari, from a team from University of Bari. And the second one is Zefiro, which is another one. Both of them, of course, they're like open source, so they develop this open science philosophy of like working together framework. So that's very interesting, and this is kind of going toward what we often discuss, which is how exactly there will be like a base for language models, and then everyone on top will fine tune toward one direction or another, being it like a theme, a vertical, a space, a niche, or even a language, which is exactly this case. So the first model is basically built on Llama 2, and the second one is built on Mistral. So it's interesting to see how the layering is working. So what is your take on this?
No, I agree with you. So it was about time to see some experimentation around the Italian language and the open source models. So nice to see these first releases. As you said, there will be, so in the current scenario, the most likely one, there will be some foundational LLMs brought to the market by big, well-funded players, and then niche optimizations for specific verticals, languages, or mm, areas or geographies or whatever. But of course, fine-tuning an existing model takes you only so far, right? So we do have a candidate for a pure Italian language based foundational LLM that was announced last week. And it comes from a partnership between Cineca and the IGUs. That's a startup operating in the AI space, conversational AI and chatbots.
Okay.
And Cineca is interesting as a partner because Cineca is the company running the Leonardo high performance computer based out of Bologna. That's one of the top, I don't remember, top five, one of the top three in the world in its vertical. So I don't know how many hundreds of NVIDIA CPUs they are currently running, GPUs are currently running in that supercomputer. So,
Awesome.
I mean, uh, the starting point is positive because we do have computational capacity to create a sizable LLM. Now, it is interesting to see the type of approach and technology, the design uh, that will be adopted to develop the model.
Awesome. Awesome. Fantastic. Right, Nick. Thank you so much for joining to this episode. Remember, people, to subscribe to Nick's newsletter and to our channel, of course. And I'll see you all next week.
Ciao, Jack. Take care. Ciao, everybody. Have a great week.